For many years, I fought the idea of putting my phone on my bike. I didn't want to be connected to the internet. I didn't want to be connected to people. I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to communicate. I wanted to disconnect and just ride. Until one day all that changed. Was it my riding habits? Was it the people I rode with? No, it was where I rode. I moved to Houston, Texas, where the traffic was atrocious. You couldn't predict where you were gonna find traffic. There were roads that were closed, there was construction, there were cops everywhere, and I didn't know what to expect, so I started riding with my phone. I don't know if you know Houston, Texas, but it gets really, really hot. In the summertime, it can be over 100 degrees. My cell phone tended to overheat if I kept my GPS on, so I started looking for alternative methods. Especially once I got this Ibex 450 and I started riding off-road more trails, more access roads. I needed something that I could keep up and on to show me the trail system, to use onX, Google Maps, whatever. I've been using that for quite a while and I like it, but when I got this Ninja 500, I wanted to try something different. Aoocci reached out to me and said, hey, we love your other videos. We'd love to send you one of our new systems, see what you think of it. I actually said no 2 or 3 times before I finally went to them and said, what's the smallest screen that you have? They kept pushing the 7-inch and bigger, and I wanted something small enough to fit onto this 500 and not be too intrusive, so I ended up getting the C3. C3 is a 5-inch screen, it's fairly low profile, and I hope it'll look good on this bike. Let's talk through the install on the 2026 Ninja 500 and then do a review of the product as well. And this is why I wanted something as small as possible. There's not really a whole lot of places to mount a screen. If you get a 7-inch screen, it's gonna cover the entire dash or just take up too much space. Even with this Peak Designs phone mount that I've got, it takes up quite a bit of space. But as I mentioned, it can overheat if I'm running GPS. So I went with the C3 Plus because it has a wider screen on the same essential dimensions of the C3 Pro. In the box comes the screen, which has 4 mounting points on the back to hold this mounting bracket. This bracket mounts to the back of the screen and typically comes with this contraption here to then mount it to a clamp. Given the space restrictions on the Ninja 500, I asked if they would include the ball mount too. That way I could mount this to the Ram stem mount that I currently have in place for my Peak Designs mount. So that'll put it right here, and I can rotate this around if I wanted to go lower. We'll see how it ends up being, but this Ram ball is an added accessory which you can get. Also in the box come the bar mounts if you have a clamping bar that you want to attach to, or your handlebars, instructions and startup guide. The C3 Plus does come with tire pressure monitoring system, wiring harness if you want to wire directly into the battery, or a hot wire somewhere in the bike, accessory wire. You can also hook this up through a USB. I'm not a huge fan of USBs. They don't typically create enough power to run these screens for a long period of time, so I'm gonna hard mount it. A couple zip ties and then some tools that you might need. These are rubber mounted, so it has built-in anti-vibration, essentially. Protects the screen. This is also a waterproof unit, by the way. When you're hardwiring this to your bike, regardless of what kind of bike it is, I do not recommend hardwiring it directly to the battery. On some units, you can do that if it has a power off switch. That way you can manually turn the device off. On the Aoocci, it does not have that, so I would not go to the battery. This is only a 2-amp system, so you could pull into the license plate light, you can pull into the headlight, something that is gonna have enough power to draw this. But on this Ninja 500, especially on the base models, there is a missing port here for a USB charger, but the wiring is in place. So I'm gonna tap into that wiring, which is a 10-amp system, and hook this wire up to that, run it through underneath the panels, and mounted there. We don't even have to remove that much stuff to get to this. If you've got small enough hands, you probably don't have to remove anything, but I'm gonna do this hopefully so that you can see it a little bit better. There is a push pin right here. You gotta pull that until it pops out. I'll try to zoom in on editing, but that right there is the connector we're looking for. Held in there with electrical tape, I gotta cut it out. All right, that's what it looks like. So there is a connector on the end of it, because if you wanted to get that USB port that you can get from Kawasaki, it's like $92 US. It just plugs right into the back of that. Super easy process if you wanted to do that. Nice, clean OEM look, but I'm just gonna tap into the wires with some splicers. On this side, we need to connect these that go into the T to the wire. Make sure that you leave the fuse in place when you do this. Black goes to black. And red goes to brown. These are not waterproof, so I'm going to cover them in electrical tape. You can also get waterproof ones. I'll post a link to that on Amazon below. All right, before we start routing any of the wires and whatnot, let's test this, make sure it works properly. There are arrows on the connectors. Line up the arrows, press it together, and then screw it together like so. Now you have a nice waterproof connection there. All right, we should be connected. Let's see what happens when I turn the key. Boom. I love it. They can do custom logos like that too. Sweet. Let's route the wires, clean it up, and mount it to the stem. There are a lot of wires. That's one of the downsides to a system like this. Just a lot of stuff you gotta hide. But they did include a few zip ties, which is very convenient. All right, so I got it mounted on the ram ball. I spun it around so I could get it closer to the tank. Make sure you have clearance every which way you turn. That the wire doesn't snag, that it doesn't touch your tank. Now, obviously this is gonna be a potential issue if I'm at the racetrack. But that's kind of why I left the connector somewhat accessible. I can just pull this off using that ram ball when I go to the track so I can get into a full tuck and not have to worry about that too much. But I think we might be good to set this baby up. With the device on, go into your Bluetooth settings, find C3+, hit pairing, Android Auto, switch to Android Auto, Bluetooth manage. And now we're connected. If you are running the TPMS, there are two of them in the bag. They say FW and RW. FW is front wheel, RW is rear wheel. Simply remove your old valve cap, put the brass nut on first, it's a locking nut, and then thread the sensor on. Just finger tight, and then the locking washer, you loosen it out and use the little included wrench to tighten it down onto the sensor. That's all you need to do. Should automatically hook up. I do want to be sure to make you aware that Aoocci did send me this system in exchange for this video, but I made sure they would not require I say anything. They have no idea what's going to be said in this video. They're not going to see it beforehand. If you are looking for an Aoocci C3+, there is a link below in the description. If you click on that, it'll bring you in with the coupon code to save you some extra money. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to endorse this product until I tried it, so my full review will be at the end after I've gone for a ride. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it yet, so let's see what happens. I will say it did take some fidgeting, but I finally got it to work in the sense that it's connected Android Auto to my phone. I love the boot screen. It matches. It's awesome. When you turn the bike on, it goes to this default screen, and then you should see the clock come up that matches my phone, which is Bluetooth connected to this now. There we go. Now it's auto connected to Android Auto. You've got map, you've got multiple features over there. It will work just like other Android Auto screens. Like if you've got it in your car, it's the exact same thing. Essentially, it's mirroring your phone. You've got all of your apps on there. You can do music, GPS, messages, all kinds of stuff that shows up. Tire pressure monitoring system. How do I get into that? Oh, tire pressure test. There we go. You can set an alarm for low pressure or high pressure. Got to turn matching on. Let's do PSI and Fahrenheit. All right, let's test this new screen out on the road. All right, so Aoocci C3+, 5-inch screen, hardwired into a Ninja 500. Riding on a very sunny day. It's a little dim. Now it does have a screen protector on it, so I'll probably pull that off and see if it makes any difference, but it's a little dim comparatively. But my guess is that's fine. I can see it okay. There's not really much glare or anything of that nature. I don't love where I have it mounted now that it's in practice. It seems a bit low. I have to really like look down and take my eyes off the road to see it effectively. So I might try to find a different way to position that, but I don't want to block the key. All right, let's see how the buttons work. with my gloves while riding. And that actually works pretty well, even with the screen protector on. And for reference, these are the Alpinestars SMX Plus gloves. They're like a hybrid street glove. I like it. I feel like it's just like having my phone down there. But again, I do wish it was a little bit higher, but it works. It's consistent. Let's go back and see if the tire pressure monitoring system is up now. So I had installed those, but it didn't seem like they were working too well for me in the garage. I thought maybe once you got rolling, it's when it would actually pair up. I'm not getting any reading from those. Something I will add is that the instructions that came with it are not great. I didn't go to the website to look for any tutorials. I just wanted to see what would come in the package. And the instructions weren't really good at even setting it up and connecting the phone to it. It was kind of like I had to poke around and find things. So that is one little hit to this. But generally speaking, this is cheaper than a lot of the other options that are out there on the market. This is cheaper than the Carplay that I've been running on my Ibex 450 for a while. And it functions. I don't mind it. Will I keep running it? Yeah, more than likely I will. Let's see, can I turn the brightness up? It's all the way up. I did just notice this little hot button on the right here, that little circle. When you hit that, it pulls up like a main menu, and you have easy access to your home screen. That way you don't have to exit out of the Android Auto. You just click on that and it brings you back to this, so you can see your time, you can see your tire pressure, if it's working. I'm not sure why it's not. I'm gonna go see if I can find some troubleshooting information about that and get those rigged up together. So as much as I hated the idea of having my phone on my bike and having some form of connectivity around here, like I mentioned, the traffic is so bad. Obviously not here, but when I'm riding in Houston, I would love to have GPS up. And when I have GPS up, I have the audio paired to my headset, my Cardo that's in my helmet, so I can hear the directions, but I like to see what's upcoming. I can also choose different routes. Google Maps is fantastic for that. Now, if you're here for the Ninja 500 content, I've got a lot more stuff coming on that. I mentioned the track day, I mentioned modifications, but I've also already done a video just reviewing the bike, and then on top of that, I did the first break-in service. So if you've got a Ninja 500 that you just acquired, check out those videos as well. I'll make sure I link them at the end of the video. I would love to mention the fact that this is the smallest screen that I could find that was still in Android Auto. At 5 inches wide, it's still fairly good size. It's big. Do I want one this big? I'm not certain. Aoocci has a small one that's about the size of a watch, practically. I have not yet tested it. I've asked if they'd be interested in seeing what that looks like on the Ninja 500. If you'd like to see the small one on a sport bike, comment below that you want to see the new version, and I will do what I can to have them send me one and we can do a test of that too. I can do a side-by-side comparison on size, functionality, and whether or not it fits a sport bike, because space is at a premium on these bikes. One thing I'd like to highlight, comparing this to the Carplay, which I've used for the last year, it does the same functionality, but I feel like that one is a little bit more refined. It was a lot easier to connect to my phone, and it just seemed to flow a little bit easier. This is great as far as the touch responsiveness, and I do like some of the features. So when you're looking at the two between, the price difference, it really comes down to what is it you want as extra features and how usable do you want it to be. I've got nothing against the Carplay. I'm going to keep that on my Ibex, and I'll keep running this one for a little bit too and see if I can come up with any notable differences. I'll report back in the comments if I've got any issues on this. So stay tuned to the video. Again, if you're looking for an Aoocci C3 Plus or other models, use the link in the description below. It does help me out. I do get a commission for it, but I wouldn't have said that I would recommend it if I don't actually recommend it. I think having this up here is a lot safer than having your phone. It's not going to destroy your camera, and it's not going to overheat like your phone would. So if this is something you're looking for, check them out. Subscribe to the channel, like the video if it's something that you enjoyed watching. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. If you happen to have a Ninja 500, I've got a whole bunch of other content that I've already made and more coming on this bike. I've taken this bike to the racetrack. I've got a video coming on that too. This bike is fantastic on the track, so much fun. I've also got upgrades coming, things like exhaust and other modifications. Stay tuned for more on this.